The middle-aged man was surprised to discover that the place where he used to meet secretly with Miss Tayama suddenly had a stranger he had never seen before. The woman looked at Sasaki with suspicion. She was the supermarket manager. Then the manager pulled out her phone, intending to call the police to arrest Sasaki for trespassing. Sasaki hurriedly explained that he was Tayama's friend, but this did not lessen the manager's doubts at all, because she didn't even know anyone named Tayama. The manager carefully observed Sasaki, recognizing him as the man who always lined up at register number 2, and because Sasaki looked like her own dog, she remembered him. Then the manager said the person Sasaki referred to as Tayama must be Yamada. Sasaki denied it, saying Tayama was a stylish girl in a jacket and a good friend of Yamada. Hearing Sasaki's description of Tayama's appearance, the manager finally realized that he had been tricked by Yamada. Sasaki continued explaining that he had a gift he wanted to give Tayama. After asking the manager to pass it on, Sasaki hurried away. Seeing Sasaki so timid and obedient, the manager felt even more that he was like her pet. At that moment, Yamada pushed open the back door. The manager seized the chance to sternly criticize her, asking how she could smoke with a customer here without permission. Yamada tried to bluff.
吸ってないです。
嘘つけ山田
The manager said Sasaki had already confessed. If not for Yamada's sake, she would have almost called the police. The manager then picked up the gift in her hand, saying it was from Sasaki to Ms. Tayama. She then mocked that the name Tayama was too random, only enough to fool an uncle like Sasaki. As she turned her head, she saw that Yamada treated Sasaki's gift like a treasure. This was the kind of innocence only seen in a girl in love. Rather than pursuing Sasaki's trespassing, the manager now wanted to gossip the romance. At least future night shifts wouldn't lack entertainment. It turned out the manager was a hardcore shoujo manga fan, whose biggest hobby besides smoking was reading comics. The next day, Yamada came to the manager again. Last night she had been so immersed in the joy of receiving the gift that she forgot to confirm with the manager whether Sasaki would still be allowed to enter the back door area. Yamada was a little worried. Although the manager hadn't called the police, there was no guarantee she wouldn't punish Sasaki on the spot. The manager teased, asking if Yamada thought she was a mob boss. Anyway, that time wouldn't affect work, so she would just turn a blind eye. Yamada was overjoyed and walked away with light steps. That evening Sasaki nervously came to the back door. He had worried all day, afraid he had dragged Tayama's work into trouble. Tayama suddenly appeared at his side, pulling his suit toward the smoking area, saying the manager had agreed he could be there, as long as he kept a low profile in the future. Then Tayama took out a chibi portable ashtray. She thought the ashtray was especially cute. Sasaki was glad she accepted the gift. Tayama said just looking at the ashtray made her imagine Sasaki's awkwardness while shopping. Since such items weren't easy to find, Sasaki must have asked around for a long time that day, and boutiques were usually full of girls, so Sasaki must have felt embarrassed choosing it. Sasaki swallowed hard, once again marveling that Ms. Tayama truly had mind-reading skills. Jokes aside, Tayama genuinely liked the gift. She blinked, saying she would cherish it. Then Tayama leaned closer to Sasaki, wanting him to flick his ashes into the new ashtray. Sasaki felt embarrassed, wanting to hold it himself, but just as he reached out, Tayama deliberately moved the ashtray farther away, hinting for Sasaki to come closer. Sasaki kept a deliberate social distance from Tayama, stretching his hand straight but still a few centimeters short. Then his hand began to cramp. Getting older really makes everything bittersweet. The next day in his shopping basket, Sasaki added a box of medicated patches. Yamada then realized that the uncle really couldn't withstand torment. She first couldn't help but laugh out loud, then apologized for her rudeness. Then, thinking he was hurt because of her, Yamada apologized even